What's up? Welcome to the No Mongo Podcast, a weekly show about all things skateboarding. My name's Rick Beta, and hope you're having an amazing week so far. And for me, like I've mentioned this before, this show is my therapy. It's been a crazy last couple weeks. I need to do this show just for my sanity. So I'm glad to be back for another week. The stars all aligned. The timing worked out. I was able to, muster up an episode. So here we are. You can follow along on social media at Rick Beta. That's RickBata. Or email the show, nomongopodcast@gmail.com. Okay, so as mentioned last week, right? Last week, I hadn't checked it out yet, but the new GX1000 video dropped, and that's no longer the case. I have watched it. I did indeed enjoy it. Let me just say that it lived up to the hype. Of course it did, right? And you get everything you expect from these guys. You got it with this video. It was very on brand. Adrenaline was pumping. Palms equal sweaty. Well, mostly towards the end. Mom spaghetti. However, with all that rain, you couldn't tell like any of the skaters had sweaty palms or were sweating at all. Dudes were soaked. GX1000 Wet Edition. Leave it up to them to record in probably one of the wettest winters in the Bay Area that we've gotten in years? Actually, probably more than a decade. It's been probably about a decade since we got hit that hard, that long. We never, like I would always say, we never get rain in the Bay Area in San Jose. It doesn't happen. But yeah, so that was hardcore, and so was their video. I enjoyed it. But what's funny though is because GX1000 videos, at least this one, all of them do, but these videos, they mostly make me want to convince the wife, the kids, hey guys, I got a little plan. Why don't we we're going to move from San Jose. We're going to pack up our stuff. We're going to move to San Francisco so I can bomb hills like these guys. Yeah. How's that sound, kids? Yeah? Wife's shaking her head. Except I would have to do it in full pads though. Maybe even one of those, actually probably wouldn't be safe though. One of those sumo suits, those big clear balls that are like a balloon or whatever they are. You bounce around. I'd have to do it on that. I have to have one of those on. And sure, I wouldn't get accepted by the crew, but I don't care, Skating in San Francisco is fun. Don't get me wrong, but I've only skated a small fraction of compared to what these guys have skated. They're all over the place. Their urethane wheels have been all over that city. But I never took to the streets like they did. No, they do. It's still, like I said, it makes you want to move there. It makes you want to skate in the city just to try and be like them. So great job, team. But hill bombing in the rain like that, that's insane. That's crazy. I think a couple of them were switched too. I didn't write them down, but I think so. I was like, oh boy. And I'm glad no one got hurt. Too hurt, I should say, while filming that video. So definitely check it out. I'm a big fan of the Out There series, and Austin Gillette was the next up in line for that. But this one was great, and the Out There series it never disappoints, and Austin's was just as good. And we got such good insight into his life. That's what I like about these. You got to see them doing their normal stuff, like you said at the beginning of the video. He said, quote, kind of nice when a laptop closes. He shut his laptop down. I agree. The feeling, the sound of it, Because usually, you're wrapping up something that's, probably necessary if you're on your laptop. And you're not just, messing around. Well, I guess sometimes I'm doing that. I'm looking at boards or wheels or shoes. But it's just a nice, when you just close it. It's a nice feeling. So. Oh, I love how he brushes his teeth in the kitchen, though. You see that? You notice that? It tells you all you need to know about this dude, his grind. Dude doesn't have time to brush his teeth in a bathroom. He has things to do. People to talk to and things to design and make, laptops to slam shut. I very rarely brush my teeth in the kitchen, but it is kind of fun. It happens say someone's in we have a bathroom here in our house, and someone's taking a shower, or someone's already in the bathroom, but someone wants to go to bed because they're tired and grumpy, and we're all like, come on. So yeah, there are times when I've brushed my teeth in the kitchen, but it's fun to be out of the normal, typical bathroom, / teeth brushing area. There's just something about spitting a bunch of toothpaste into a kitchen sink. it just sounds different. It looks different when it hits the sink. I suggest you try it sometime. Also, another side note, I recently switched over to an electric toothbrush. I'm a fan. But it is kind of weird at times. At first, it was like so ticklish. Like a couple of spots like almost make you like it makes everything itch because it rattles your brain a little bit. But I like it, But I think Austin could definitely save some effort and energy if he did the same as well and switched over, because he's got some aggressive strokes going on. You see that? His gums are probably like, take it easy, bro. Whoa. It's all about the circle, not how hard you push, how fast you go. I say let the electric toothbrush handle just kind of do it for you, but that's just me. But like I said, I just recently converted to the electric toothbrush, so I'm not a pro. I'm just, just noticed that. Like, it's aggressive, dude. You can just literally hold the toothbrush, save that energy for skating, save that effort and the energy for other things, make that easier when you shut your laptop closed. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. But I loved how they opened it, with the event for Dylan Reeder's birthday. And once he said it was for, like leukemia awareness, that's all I needed to hear. I was like, oh yeah, of course. That's something that I'm all about, spreading the word. And I knew right then, I'm going to talk about this. I'll talk about it on this episode, and spread the knowledge about it. But they skated from the, top of Manhattan to the bottom of Manhattan. And his sister, McKenna, she jogged the whole way. So that's not bad. I've never been to Manhattan, so I don't know how long that is. But I mean, obviously it's probably a pretty good distance. And they, of course, ended up, stopping at the famous bench that Dylan, did that impossible over. That if you think about it, to this day, is still pretty gnarly. To have that pop, the amount of pop, like there at that spot to get over, that's crazy. I'd have to have like I'd have to have some bigger wheels, like the highest risers possible to make the pop. I mean, just think about trying to ollie that bad boy, just to make it up and over, but with an impossible wrapped around your foot. Damn. Yeah, I don't even think in my heyday I could have just run and jumped over it. I couldn't do that. So shout out to the Dylan Reeder Foundation, of course. I'll see if I can put the link in the bio if I remember to do that. But yeah, all about here's the good thing though, is all the proceeds go to the City of Hope. So just had to mention that as well. So it's awesome to see just a great turnout there in New York, in Manhattan, for that Dylan Reeder Foundation event that he had. Very cool. Then they, of course, shifted to his music, which, was heard throughout the video. And I haven't really listened to too much of his stuff, but that was cool to hear. And they went to Nashville. They recorded for like 6 days, as they said. Their third record they were working on. Good stuff. Good stuff. But that's the thing I wanted to point out, though, is for this particular episode of, Out There, Austin was really out there. New York, Tennessee, California. We got to see him in multiple states. Now, I wonder how long it took to record this one, too. We all learned a new / now old phrase. As he said, he got fenced. At first, I was like, damn, dude, how did you come out of that alive? Getting fenced, it sounds like something you'd see out of a Saw movie. Let's play a game. Now you can see if you can escape this fence wrapped around you, and you only have one pair of bolt cutters and 2 fingers to do it. I know that was a horrible, horrible Jigsaw voice, but you get the point. It sounded like it sounded worse than it was. That's how crazy my brain goes off. My crazy brain thinks. It turns out all Austin had to do was just sit by the fence. You're getting fenced, dude. Sit over there. I was like, whew. So glad. So glad I never got fenced as a kid. My kids will probably never get fenced either. It seems like it's a thing of the past and we've all moved on. I've never heard that phrase before, even as a kid. Oh, he got fenced. What? I'll have to look it up. It sounded so brutal, though. But it's cool to hear him talk about, being on Termite, the little kids brand back in the day, getting on the cover. Oh, his NBDs. I had to write this one down because my brain, I don't think it still can register okay, let me say it out loud and see if my brain still catches on. Back 180/50s. Yeah, I just seen him twist like that. I was like, dude, I hadn't seen that one before. Yes. So good. I mean, he has a lot of NBDs. He's humble about them. So, but yeah, I got plenty. So, do they even have MBDs anymore? Yeah, well, you got a lot of them. Well, I guess speaking of so good, shout out to Habitat Skateboards for doing Austin the good deed of, suggesting slash, forcing slash encouraging him to get, go back to high school to have that experience. I think that was very cool of them. I mean, regardless of whether or not you like high school or not, you've been through it. Maybe you're still going through it now. It's an experience that a majority of us, we kind of have to go through. And oftentimes we kind of need to go through, if it makes sense, because it helps mold us into humans, the humans that we eventually become. I look back on my experience. I didn't have like a horrible experience in high school. Did I like it that much? Not really. I only worried about skateboarding. I made it through, but all of the trial, all the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations, all that stuff that I thought was a big deal back then, in hindsight, was like no big deal, or something bad happened, or whatever it was. I'm like, in hindsight, it helped me become who I am today, and I'm kind of glad that I had that experience. But if you think about it, I mean, he practically missed his entire high school experience as it is. He was independent studies for 9th grade, for 10th grade, skipped 11th, and was able to, ride out the last year at a quote unquote typical high school, only because, he was living the life as a skateboarder, traveling around. And but I thought that was so cool, Habitat, to, suggest that. So yeah, golf claps for you guys. Hell yeah. I mean, it says a lot about, the minds over there, the brainchilds behind Habitat. And I almost, now I think about it, I almost feel like I need to buy a Habitat board now, and almost guilty that I haven't. I've never had one. Never had one. I've enjoyed their videos, obviously, over the years, but I've never owned a Habitat board. So I think I might need to change that, and maybe, fire up some Austin Gillette, in all caps on Spotify. Check out his music too. Give him some spins. He talked about it, and out there he's got that one fan. If you've seen it, I'm talking about that. His biggest fan in the world, getting that one play, one download. Yeah, well, I'll add another one or two. It's the least I could do. And now, if what I've mentioned so far, like these past few minutes, doesn't interest you, or maybe you're just an Austin hater. You just hate him. You're like, dude, I hate him. He sucks. Or if you're if you hate Habitat as well, if it's a double, you're just like, I hate both of them. Why are you even talking about them, Rick? I would at least urge you to skip forward. Yeah, you can skip most of it and just skip around right around to the, checking my notes here, 16-minute, 47-second mark. Just start there. Just do there, please. Just start there. Listen to the next few minutes until the end to what he has to say. Dropping some good nuggets right there. Do it if it even makes you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about there? It'll make sense in a little bit. But yeah, check it out. But well done, Austin. I mean, much luck and success to you on all of your future endeavors. It was cool. He was talking about just his life, how just his perspective has changed. And like I said, all that stuff he dropped at 1647. He's in a good headspace. And a lot of he's kind of, in a sense, still just getting started. He had some rough patches. He was sponsorless for almost 2 years. That says a lot about a skater. If they don't have any boards coming, or they're on flow, no shoe sponsors, he's all in it for the love, baby, for the love. Still skating, still grinding, still doing his thing. So yeah, check it out. I'll put the link to the video in the notes below. Like I said, it's about 18 minutes and 13 seconds. That's all he's asking. I think you can handle it. Quick hydration moment. Starting to get hot again in San Jose. It's like 80 degrees. What? I'm not trying to brag. I'm just going to say it's starting to get hot in the No Mongo studios. Sweat starting to kind of form underneath these armpits here. I'm kind of glad I don't do video for this right now, because I'm holding them up now. You can't see, but I'm like, dude, doesn't smell too bad, so I'm good. So Mason Silva, yeah, I think you've probably heard of him before. He dropped his latest edit, Take a Lap. It dropped this week, and gotta say, it was nice to see a full part from this man. What's funny though is when I went back to watch it again, kind of take notes, my autocorrect had me looking at take a nap. I wasn't really thinking about I just typed in take a nap. Well, it autocorrected me, and which I'm sure I'm going to circle back and check out now because naps rule, and I don't get them too often. Sometimes they're impromptu, just happens. But when I do, they're amazing. They are amazing. I highly recommend naps. Highly recommend, like what I talked about earlier, brushing your teeth in the kitchen and highly recommending naps. That's what this podcast is all about. I'm not worried about manga push. I'm worried about you brushing your teeth where you should be in the kitchen, taking naps. But it reminds me of the first 3 years, after my twins were born. I was all about, hashtag nap life. Nap life, baby. Nap life. I snuck in naps as much as I could. When they napped, I napped. Hell no, I didn't have time or extra energy to watch skate content then. Are you kidding me? I needed to sleep. So, it's no wonder from, 2012 to 2017, that gap. I mean, I was barely watching any skate videos then. Barely. I would get in as much as I could. Much like I try to do now. But, I still had the mags coming, of course. I was aware. I had skateboarding content, come in. I would watch some of the contests on there here and there. But anyway, I still have a lot of catching up to do from those years. I'm still working on it. So anyway, let's talk about now. Mason Silva's Take a Lap. And one that officially puts him in the acronym race. Yeah, I'll say it. I'll say it now. It's worthy. It's everything we would expect from him. Is he making a run this year? Does this lap give us an idea? A taste? A subtle hint as to what is to come? I'm shrugging now. All I have to say is if we see a few more samples, just a few more samples from Mason like this, we will definitely be talking about him in December. But that's if he wants it. He's done it before. Most people who want to get these awards, they want to get another one. They got a taste. They want another one. Tyshawn got a second one recently, right? And he could definitely do it again. All I got to say is be afraid, skaters. Be afraid. What do we got? It's going to be May, this weekend? You figure you got a good 6 months. If you're looking at some footage, start doing the math, going, if Mason does this to me again, I don't know, man. Should we save? Start looking around. Should we save until next year? I'm just going to get that in your head. You should seriously consider it. Because if he doesn't run like he did, whoo! So as of this show, though, I've seen it only this video, 2 times? And I want to watch it again. I watched it once at lunch the other day. And then later on that evening, right before bed. But he got things started off with an alley-oop, big spin wall ride. And it was here when I had to just pause and rewind. And I don't think I paused it at all the first time around. Like I said, I was watching at lunch. But I had to take this all in. Right when he was on that wall, right after the the 4-wheel screech, like a little skirt, 14 seconds in, that's so gnarly. Look around, look on the bottom, look at the crust, look at the height. The pole right there, that's a visual distraction for me, not really a necessarily physical obstacle, but in my brain about there's a pole right here to the right, I'm going to try and big spin. Are my wheels going to hit? And the position that to get, even though he's on a wall ride, to get on top of his board to make it land, magic. Magic. I don't even think I could give that trick an honest skater's attempt. You know how you do like a half-ass attempt? I would probably do a quarter-ass attempt. I would just try it. You know how you try and do like a 360? You go, spin the board around and hope that didn't hit the back of my, hit my heels or something, But that was so awesome, Mason. Great way to start it off, Oh, also, if you look closely, you might see a manga push in the background. Yeah, what? Seriously, right from the start. Just pay attention when he goes up for that. Just look in the background. You have to look very closely. Put your eyes right up on the screen. Yeah, there's a manga push back there. You see it? You see it? Let me know when you see it. It's kind of like Where's Waldo? And then they did one of the best looking lines I've seen in a long, long time. This was, post title cards. And not necessarily trick-wise, but like just camera-wise, camera work-wise. The epic camera work. I mean, how do you do that? How do you do that? Who filmed that? Actually, I don't. Was that Ryan? I know he had there was multiple filmers, 2 main filmers, and multiple additional filmers, but that was insane. And I loved how they showed us at first where they were going, and then quick pan, and just of course how tight it was too, and they panned around the Mason. Damn. But how was that filmed though? There's no way in hell the filmer was looking backwards, right, the whole time. You just kind of had to get the luck of the draw, holding the camera right, the right angle. Is that how they did it? And I think about it. Now I think about it. I was watching on my phone, so I need to put that on my TV. Give that bad boy some justice right there. That was so good. And how about that huge back 180 heel at 45 seconds in? I was like, damn! What poles? What pole? I don't see no stinking poles. And look how much he cleared them by. That was what I wanted to point out. And notice which pole he flew over, too. That's key. He wasn't taking any short flights on that trip. Nope. No, he took the longest flight possible and cleared it with no problem. That was so good. Oh, boy. Dude, he had me laughing, though. Yeah, that's always a bad sign when you're laughing. I'm laughing watching these videos. Yeah, that's when I know it's just over. Game over. 360 bonk is what I wrote down. That's the right trick name, right? 50 seconds in, he just tapping that truck as he spun around. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, Mason. Whatevs, dude, whatevs. I mean, we know you have 360s on lock, but why you have to do us like that? So ridiculous. But what's the thought process on that trick? Because I'd probably overthink it, and I would over focus on the bonk and not the spin, so I'd get frustrated. Like, okay, I'm just gonna do 180. Yeah, fine, whatever. Or do you just, I wouldn't be level enough. Think about it. I'm trying to think if you're 180, I wouldn't be level enough to tap down and bonk on that. My body would be all misaligned because I would be trying to over rotate and try and think of the spin. Must be nice though to have that much control where you can do those on something like that. Must be nice, Mason. That was so crazy though. I wonder who's going to do that, but front side. Woo! See that happening. But that was pretty awesome, though. And keep in mind, we haven't even reached a minute mark yet. The things I've been talking about, it hasn't even reached a minute mark yet. Oh, that 50-50 on the fence, 109. So, yeah, we finally cleared the minute mark. He makes that look so easy, and most people showing up to that spot wouldn't even consider that. They would be like, nah, that's not a spot. No, what are you talking about? I mean, was that a Ryan Lee find? Such a unique spot that, I don't recall seeing it before, and to pop out the landing, and I'm glad we got to see 2 angles too. So ridiculous. Oh, another one I wrote down, pop over feeble to slalom, 129. Check it out, yeah. I mean, Shreddy Murphy was all pumped up after seeing that. Get Mason some cones and to ride through. Damn it, some small cones. Don't need to be big cones. I mean, if you think about it, he probably didn't need to ride all the way down, but all the way out. He could have probably bailed and ran out, out of it after that landing. But it says something about him, He had to finish that. He wanted to ride that bad boy out all the way to the end. Yeah, but I'm saying, put some cones on both sides. Do some slalom there. But I bet that spot was, another Ryan pin, of course, out of nowhere. It's like, here, let's go do this. That was fun to see. Oh, boy. Mason had me cracking up again for a second time in this video. Massive ollie at that loading dock. 140, 140. The one where he cleared 3 handrails in the process? That one. Think about it. The first rail is a challenge in itself. Okay, just to do that, just anyone to do that. But to clear a couple more, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And of course, to have enough height and speed to do that, to clear it all. And it's a long flight when his heels start coming up. That's when you've been in the air way too long. Those toes are kind of hanging on no, don't go down yet. He had to point those toes down to keep the board on his feet. No, we're not done yet. Stay on my feet. So insane. And this is a trick I saw coming. You could just tell by the body positioning, by that front 360 at 255 over the fence. Yeah. There's just something about, and I've talked about this before. I think Wooten, right? And Jeremy Ray and Donger, Ken Loop. Like, there's something about a good frontside 360. Yeah. And the list is short, Yeah, obviously Wooten has like the more recent one. But that was nice too. Had to mention that bad boy. I'm going to take a deep breath for this next one. How about that half cab nose blunt? At Clipper. Oh, I must emphasize. At Clipper. That was hilarious. I was cracking up again. I was like, oh my gosh, Mason. Seriously, dude. Seriously, man. Like falling on the floor, rolling over, like, oh. It's almost like that Key and Peele episode where the dude couldn't like vocally like laugh out loud. Like I was just like, that was me. To shift your body and board to get up and down, that Clipper is amazing. The dude is wickedly talented. How do you properly think about it? I have to know, how do you properly shift your weight there? Because you're going to half cab. So I'm just simulating right now on the ground here. So you half cab, and then you automatically have to push down on the nose. Or you're shifting everything. Oh nope, we're going to land in blunt. How do you do that? I don't know. But that was so cool. And I think we got to see multiple angles of that too, didn't we? Very cool. I'm curious to see the QS top 10 this week. There might be a couple from Mason on there. I think there should be at least 3, but that's just me. But they'll give him at least the top. They'll get him a top 3 trick, but I think he should be the top 3 in just my opinion. And then of course we have his ender, very worthy of like the slow mo, the cow sound, right? I wonder what it feels like to do one of those, He was so high up on the wall, just looking down at all the small people down there. And backside. That's the right side at that spot. I know he did a couple frontside wall ride variations in this video, but backside, it's right there. Because I think you do a frontside, you're kind of almost tempted and inclined to kind of grab the board too to come out. But he stood up there, popped out, boom. And think about this too. How cool is it that Mason bookended his video with wall ride tricks? Is that MBD? Has that been done before? Actually, maybe something done in like the 80s, when wall rides were all this thing. So that's very cool. Very, very cool. Have you seen this one yet? I highly recommend it. And as I said earlier, Mason is out there getting all 2020 on this. Like, it's like a few years ago. And we all know how clear of a win it was for him back then in 2020. He didn't need to kind of cram them all down our throat in Q4. Remember that? He spread them out throughout the year. He's that good. We remembered him. And that's what I said at the beginning of the year. Remember my hopes? I'm talking about like it's so long ago. Remember I was hoping for like a Q1 Sodi push? That didn't happen. Maybe next year. Maybe someone will find, because there's going to be a dump at the end of this year. I'm going to complain about it. Maybe someone will catch on next year. Or it'll be like Mason, who just kind of plots and plans along the way. Yep, here's one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. I don't know. What do you think? All I got to say, this was a nice sample size of 2023 Mason. I'm looking over my shoulder right now. I'm scared. You go get him, Mason. Go get him. I'll talk to you next week.